requesties with the maggots now. Welcome to my review of Evil Dead Rise, the latest horror movie in the Evil Dead franchise, and the best part about this one is you don't need to have watched all the other movies to know what's going on in this movie. It is good as a standalone movie, and it's also good in the context of the rest of the movies. It's a lot different tone to the earlier ones with Bruce Campbell, Ash Williams, a lot different tone to that, and even the TV series. This is a lot scarier. It's a lot gorier as well, and it's actually, I didn't know what to think of it when I first played it, because I loved the first kind of remake or reboot that they did in 2013. I thought that was refreshing and quite unique, but then this one just ups the ante to 11. This one surprised the heck out of me, and here I am to gush about it in this review. So, Evil Dead Rise. What is it about? Not to give too much spoilers away, but, the dead rise. Something's possessed, a demon comes to get you, yada yada. Usual horror affair, but in this movie, they do it so well. Like a lot of horror movies, they seem to fall into a trap of just jump scares, where nothing unsettling is happening, nothing creepy happening, and all the characters you just don't care about. Which is definitely not the case for this movie, because all the characters are actually, kind of relatable characters, and no one is safe. That's another thing about this movie, is it's very unpredictable, and I love that about this. Because as I was watching through the movie, I didn't know who was going to die. I didn't know how they were going to die, or who was going to be the survivor at the very end. So there's a scene early on. This is a bit of spoilers now. There's a scene early on where one of the main characters, you think it's the main character, they get a knife straight through the hand, and I was like, oh no, she's a goner. She's a goner. There's kids around. Uh-oh. But then she didn't die, and I was thinking, okay, subverted my expectations. So the other woman, she may die next, and then, it doesn't happen. And then even the kids are perishable. Some of the kids die in this movie, and it just makes you go, that's unpredictable. I didn't know anything like this was going to happen. Didn't know who was going to die. Basically, anyone can die. That should be the tagline of this movie. Anyone is expendable. Anyone can die in this movie, which is great. Now, the visuals, the creepy, unsettling visuals that they kind of hold on, makes the movie more scary. Because a lot of movies have jump cuts and jump scares just of nothing really that's scary, just a door closing, silly stuff like that. But this one doesn't. It has very visceral horror and very gory elements, and just makes your skin crawl. There's a certain scene with a cheese grater, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. That just made me wince, and I was like, oh no, this is like Saw territory. But a lot scarier. There's a scene with a tattoo needle going near someone's eye, and I was just... I was like, oh, how is this movie going to get any crazier? And somehow it does. Amazing scenes. The bathtub scene with the possession of the main... Well, one of the main characters, played by Elisa Sutherland, in the bathtub, and then she floats into the air and starts crawling, or like the Ring/The Grudge style. Creepy as hell, and that voice line, "Mummy sleeping with the maggots now," has been stuck in my head all week. Loved it. There's a scene basically shot entirely through a peephole where you see the possessed woman attacking people, and it goes out of sight, and then you see bodies getting flung past the peephole as this child is watching, and it's really quite creepy and unsettling. A great scene, because you're seeing it just through this little lens, but you're seeing all this carnage happen, and when it's off screen, it's like she's just going to jump up on screen. What is going to happen next? How are the antes going to be upped? And they somehow manage to do it every single time. But yes, the acting in this movie is amazing. The kids, you feel the terror, and not just the kids, the adult actors, you feel the terror in them even more, which is, unparalleled. I mean, the actual main character, Beth, her terror is just... It's fantastic. It seeps through the screen. And also the regret on one of the other characters, the son, I forgot his name. The regret in him and throughout the movie for unleashing this possession is just, it's palpable. You can feel his sorrow and regret for doing what he did, because he did kind of cause it by inadvertently unleashing hell. The standout is Elisa Sutherland. Her portrayal of the possessed mum in this situation is just amazing. Her smile, her creepy, blood-curdling smile is just harrowing when she's looking through the peephole at her daughter, and there's big smiles on her face and blood everywhere. She's just massacred a bunch of people, and you're just like, don't let her in. Do not touch that door. But it's a horror movie. They always do what you don't want them to do. So, yeah, her portrayal of the possessed mum is just something extraordinary. The bathtub scene, the peephole scene, the scene at the end with the amalgamation of all the corpses together into this The Thing-like creature. I absolutely loved The Thing being one of my favourite horror movies of all time. I loved that kind of body horror aspect at the end. Amazing. But be warned, this is gory as anything. If I talk about cheese graters, needles near eyes, amalgamations of body parts, impaling, chainsaws, if you think of it, it's in here. There's also a cool nod to The Shining with the blood elevator as well, so I loved that. So yeah, the acting was fantastic throughout. The lighting was amazing. Exactly as dark as you want it to be, but not too dark so you can't see what's going on. The sound design as well. The sound design was perfect. There's a scene where Elisa's character puts her fingernail on like a vinyl player and the sound is coming out of her mouth. The music is coming out of her mouth, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying. The use of sound is amazing in this. I loved the shots of the shotgun blasts, the revving of the chainsaw. As Evil Dead, you got to have a chainsaw. Just sounds so crisp and great. So lighting is on point, the sound design is on point, the creepiness, the unsettling nature of the whole movie, and it's a horror movie. You want to be scared, and I was scared watching this movie. I thought it was delightfully fantastic. Most horror movies nowadays do not scare me. This one, I'm a grown man, it's not going to scare me that much, but it was unsettling. One of the most unsettling movies I've seen in recent memory. Evil Dead Rise, I loved it. The plot was great as well. You're not in a trapped cabin in the woods. You're not in a desolate Antarctic, post. You're in the city. You're in an apartment block, and you can't get out. And to make that scary is a testament to the writing and, of course, the acting of all the characters throughout. So, as a whole, this movie, I implore you to go watch it. I think it's one of the best horror movies in recent memory. I love the scares, I love the body horror, I love the gore, the characters, the acting, the whole shebang. And it also has the best title card, like the best opening title card in recent memory as well, when the Evil Dead Rise comes out. When the another possessed woman is on a lake. Amazing. With that sound blasting behind it. So overall, thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Hope you all check this movie out. I'd probably give it I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the best horror movies. One you should play over and over on Halloween. I'll do an Evil Dead ranking in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. But yes, Evil Dead Rise is definitely worth your time. 9 out of 10 from me. So, did you watch the movie? What did you think of it? Do you agree with me? Do you love it as much as I do? I think it's fantastic. A breath of fresh air in the horror genre. So let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you again, you crazy movie maniacs.